think they have a shot, but yeah, I'm still kind of favoring the panel overall, that Fnatic. I'm liking their lineup a bit more.
I mean, do you like the fact that Liquid have changed the plan in the sense that this draft is very much more a draft that says, all right, you want to fight, we'll send the full team and we'll take these early fights. Do you like the fact that they've done that and put Matuma on something that's a little bit more, well, a lot more active than an Naga Siren in this game early on?
I think it was just honestly not really the Naga Siren last game that I think gave them the biggest issue. I mean, sure, it was a struggle, but it was mainly because of the way the lanes shaped up, and the first couple of fights just didn't favor them. And I think that more than anything, it was, mind control being shut down so much along with Kuro that hurt them the most. So I'm not sure if the change of game plan is going to be successful for them or not. It's all going to be down to execution this game.
And as we obviously saw in game one, Fnatic's execution was absolutely on point today so far. We'll see if they are able to continue it here. And of course, again, talking about the last picks, really, the draft didn't get too much time to talk about it. They did obviously say that they did like the Queen of Pain choice. I mean, what do you feel Fnatic's done that this game against Liquid's lineup?
I think that MidOne plays a very, very solid Queen, and I think they also wanted something that would be able to burst through, the plus armor from having the war cry up and being able to just take down tanky heroes like Razor and just make sure that you have enough to get the kill and then drop Mass Serpent wards after the fact and make sure you can get objectives. So that to me is what makes the most sense. But I still feel like Queen it's a very volatile hero because you can be very far ahead and just die 1 or 2 times and then all of a sudden your game feels super hard. So I'm really hoping for Fnatic's sake that doesn't happen.
And it certainly feels as well. Just looking at the lineup that Liquid have against the Queen, obviously until the axe hits the blink timing, other than that, the Queen's going to be able to blink away, successfully, unless MidOne's massively out of position. Stormhammer even, you're going to have the chance if it's from a long distance to get yourself out in time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's things that you can do. Spend stun is very easy to deal with if you have any way of disjoining it whatsoever. But it's the play here. Begins. Looks like Fnatic are going to decide not to. Probably just for the better. Obviously, if you get a point in a chilling touch and you get stunned, you could very easily get blown up. So it's very good for Fnatic not to contest that.
And of course, in game one, we did see that during the laning stage, Liquid didn't end up coming out on top. This time round, I mean, Fnatic, they do have that Drow aura. But with the picks that Liquid have, do you expect them to see will they have a bit more of a comfortable time at the beginning of this one?
I think it's going to depend on what the tri-lane can do really from both teams, because we're going to see an aggro tri versus a defensive tri. And I would kind of favor the Drow tri-lane, at least in terms of being able to farm. But if you get caught out of position against these heroes of Liquid, especially once they get like level 2 or 3, you can certainly die.
Well, of course, that leaves the other lanes. This bottom matchup, a higher mind control, Sand King versus the Axe. Of course, Sand King, we obviously a hero that we used to seeing do very well against kind of melee 1 versus 1s, but an Axe, with the cool, with the spins, how does this end up panning out? Do we see the Axe manage to come out on top?
It's really awkward because the Axe in this matchup would pretty much want to cut the creeps, because you don't want to be sitting around and dealing with costs like it's 3-4-3.
I'm trying to go up top, but Mushi actually with an early point in the Gust and certainly working out there, able to stop that. Yeah, level 1 Gust, we don't see it all the time, but I guess against an aggressive tri-lane like this, it's a very valuable point to have.
He recognizes the kill potential of Liquid's lane, so he holds the skill point, and I think if he didn't do that, not 100% sure he would have died, but 3-4-3 was definitely in some trouble there.
I mean, we're seeing how the matchup ends up going down there as mind control just running in higher with a few creeps hitting away, getting a couple of spins to connect onto the Sand King. And it's certainly going to push him back. At the moment, we can see 10 for 0, 8 for 0. Just both heroes getting the farm down at the bottom lane. The mid lane matchup, what have we yet to talk about? As we can see, though, it's very even between the two. And I imagine, is this something that we can expect to see continue? Or is there the chance that one of these heroes can outplay the other and get themselves a kill?
I think it's, in a 1v1, getting a kill is tough. 3v3 is where most of the aggressive potential is going to happen, I think, from both teams. I think that, like, obviously Liquid's tri-lane has a huge advantage in kill. Middle lane is like, Razor should pretty much never kill Queen of Pain. But Dota shouldn't necessarily die either, as long as he's a high health. And then bottom, I mean, maybe if Ohio hits level 6 and for some reason mind control doesn't call or something, he can get epied and die, but very unlikely.
See up top as well, again. Jarek just coming in towards 3-4-3. And one thing that I'm going to be interested to see as well, I mean, the fact that Liquid are running this aggressive tri-lane, do they need to have these supports here, or is there any potential for Jarex and Kuroko to move around the map, or is it just essential that they're at top, putting pressure on Mushi and creating space for Matuma Man to farm?
I think they actually want kills. I don't think it's necessarily about applying pressure in regards to farm. I think they actually want to kill them. And if they're not doing it, I don't think the tri-lane's really doing its job. So if they were to abandon this, they probably just send, mind control to the jungle, send everyone else towards bottom and try to play a little bit more greedy. But if you do that, Fnatic can just do the same thing. And then DJ hits a faster level 6, you're going to have mass serpent wards on your hands, and 343 can maybe go mid and apply a bit more pressure to Fata. So it's a trade-off, You're saying we're confident in our 1v1 matchup. We want to try to get some kills here, and Liquid right now, they're not yet getting any, but they're very close to level 3, so level 3 is a huge power spike for them.
I'm talking about getting action done on that top lane in terms of finding kills. Surely there's going to be the point as well. Whoa, moving in on Mushi, trying for it. The Gus comes out, buys him sometimes. Soul Rip is a good heal as well. Not quite enough as Liquid. They'll take down one. See if Fnatic can find anything else in return. DJ looking to chase down Kuroki, but Matuma Man, he wants to get himself another. Hitting it to DJ. Double kill for Matuma Man. And Liquid, they may not even be done yet. 3-for-3. Still has the decay available. They're going to look to chase him. They're going to be able to hold him in position, and Liquid surrounding the Undying get themselves a third. The aggressive tri-lane working out absolutely perfectly, and that's exactly what they needed to be seeing happening in this first 4 minutes, cleaning out the safe lane of Fnatic.
They just have so many nukes. Like, you have Purifying Flames, you have Stormhammer, you have Chilling Touch on Curl, Cold Feet. They can stunlock a hero for an extremely long time, and there's no save, there's no Shadow Demon. They obviously drafted the Orca themselves, there's no Shallow Grave, they don't have a dagger. So when that hero gets stuck, there's nothing that Fnatic can do about it. They don't even, they do have disables, but DJ can't just stand there and channel a Shackles, because he can very easily be switched upon as well. He's only got 1 armor, very squishy, very easy to take down. So as I was saying, Liquid's tri-lane, they want kills, they got all of them.
Absolutely. We'll see if they're able to get away with it again. It's going to get close to that point where MidOne gets level 6, 7, and then I guess on a Queen of Pain, we could very likely see the Quap react to that kind of play when it gets to a certain stage and look to turn the tide to the top lane.
He definitely needs to as well, because this...
Maybe they can find Jarex here. Tombstone's out, but Jarex looks like he's already out. TP's actually going to come through towards the top lane as Liquid, but want to turn this 3-man into a 4-man Butter, joining the fray, looking for 3-4-3. And he'll actually going to buy him a bit of time. Canute wasn't enough to finish it, but the right clicks and Kuroki there, getting the cold feet down onto Undying will do so. Liquid certainly playing this top lane very, very nicely, and making sure they have this edge against Mushi. As we see CS-wise, Matuma Man and Mushi pretty much neck and neck. But of course, just the fact that Matuma Man's been involved in so much positive action is going to put this Sven in a favorable position early on.
This is kind of putting a lot of pressure on Fnatic. MidOne and Ohio need to do a heck of a lot to compensate for how the tri-lane is going right now, losing 4 heroes already. I mean, sure, you can still kind of hit your mid-game timing when DJ finally hits level 6, but they're just being put under a tremendous amount of pressure for a long period of time. And while the Dro maintains a pretty similar creep score like you mentioned to Sven, it's not going to get any easier. The kill potential on Liquid's lineup gets ridiculously high the higher level they get. I mean, we're not even at the point where Ice Blast is available yet, or God Strength, and you saw their damage potential.
So if Liquid continue to have an early game like this, well, anything it looks actually on Matuma Man, but Liquid not able to trap him long enough to get to range. But as you're saying, the way this is beginning to go, there's the potential for Liquid to maybe even just steamroll this game if they really get the ball rolling, and to the point where Fnatic just can't slow it down.
It's going to get really scary. I think MidOne's rotations are going to be key. If he can maybe equalize the top lane a bit, like you were mentioning earlier, doing a TP rotation, I think that would be very useful. But the problem is there's a lane ward right now. So as long as that ward is down, if he tries to TP, Liquid are going to be able to back. And if that happens, then his rotation's wasted, they pretty much get nothing for it, Fata farms, then it's just a tricky situation. That's why I was saying, Ohio's also another guy that might need to do some heavy lifting here. So his Blink Dagger timing is going to be crucial.
Actually coming down very aggressively, hits the decay, but immediately the reaction from Liquid brings 3-for-3 down. The Purifying Flames nuking him out of the map. DJ shackles onto Jarex, but he face Edicts, walks back, and Fnatic unable to find the kill, and indeed it's that play as you said. The quad comes up, but with the vision out, Liquid reacts immediately, and Fnatic, just time is wasted for MidOne.
They were ready for that one. It was a little bit strange. I think 343 was feeling a bit desperate that he wanted to go, and top lane again.
Mushi, yeah, indeed.
He gets the guts off this time, though. Not gonna see
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He's got to be ever so careful. Maybe hitting 6 as well, and at that point, he is going to be able to chunk through some of these Fnatic very, very easily. So obviously we can see with the time that MidOne spent going up top, Powder able to get himself about a wave of CS ahead of the Queen of Pain. 5-0, 8 minutes in. Another lane that we haven't really talked about is the bottom one, and indeed, as we can see, net worth-wise, a 1k lead from Mind Control. He got ahead in the CS and ended up managing to do very well in this 1v1 against the higher Sand. So Liquid, kind of akin to the performance that we saw yesterday from them, just winning all the lanes and keeping a good, firm grip on this early game.
It's a matchup you don't really see too often, Sand King versus an Axe, but I suppose Axe is still kind of like the king of melee versus melee matchups, because you can just abuse creep aggro and whatnot and just get free spins whenever the Sand King goes in. And with the Vanguard and 1400 gold, like, he is just monstrous.
Yeah, he's not leaving that lane to Sand King. And yeah, as you said, the blink dagger timing is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And if he's able to join the fights, let's have a look at, of course, at the AA. I mean, even Kuroki, he's halfway through level 5. He's going to have that Ice Blast very shortly. It's going to be incredibly scary. I mean, bottom lane, MidOne's come down. They want to try and find a kill. They know that Mind Control, one of the heroes that's been left entirely on his own. But with the Vanguard, he's incredibly tanky. They're going to have to blow pretty much everything to try and get a kill. As we can see, they're doing that. TP out, won't make it. It's a good attempt, but Fnatic, they get themselves the kill, but they really do have to blow absolutely everything. Sonic Wave and everything to get the kill, and at the same time, Liquid realize there's a chance to move in on 3-4-3. He's got a Hio comes in, Burrow strikes Matumabam, and Liquid, they'll be happy to continue to just fight through this one. Looking at Mushi, Jerax and Kuroki chasing him down. Jerax fights himself, keeping himself okay for the time being. Mushi turns around, will finally finish him off, but Matumabam finishes off DJ. Kuroki TP's away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A trade up at top, but the fact that Matumabam continues to get these kills, double kill on the Sven. What is he at this point? He's 4-0-3 on this aggressive tri-lane Sven before the 10-minute mark. Armlet nearly done with the treads. He is going to be absolutely terrifying.
Dire's middle
The amount
tower
of
is
farm
under
that
attack.
the entirety of Liquid are getting, you compare it to Fnatic right now. The Sven's pulling really far ahead, whereas before, at least the draw was staying relatively consistent, but then kills started happening. And when those kills happen, you get really scared if you're Fnatic in your safe lane, and you no longer want to just like freely contest that creep wave. So for now, Liquid maintain a pretty solid lead. Of course, Blink Dagger is going to be done soon on Ohio. So at one point they can look forward and say, okay, maybe we can get something going for us. They did kill Mind Control, so they're delaying his Blink as well.
Liquid have already managed to get this tier 1 very low on the top lane, so they'd love to just finish it off now with this push as Matumabam, Jerax and Kuroki come through. Ice Blast at the ready, and they'll look towards Ohio immediately, dropping it all out on him. They'll actually come forward with the Burrow strike, the blast. The passover still there, so he ticks out, goes down. MidOne reacting this, tries for Kuroki, he's not going to make it. So a good reaction from Fnatic will shut down two of the heroes of Liquid. Matumabam, though, of course, himself, the high priority, did manage to escape unscathed. But Fnatic making these reactions and able to poke a little bit back at Liquid. And MidOne slowly climbing himself back up top, and in fact, looking for Farda, but TP out, and what are you going to do? Nothing that they can do between the two of them to stop it. They do get the tower denied. But still, certainly Liquid with the edge here in these first 11 minutes of the game.
I mean, those support kills, they do add up over time because, Liquid, they do have a net worth advantage in the early games, so killing supports are worth a tiny bit more. I thought they were going to deny their safe lane tower, but I guess they just didn't want to. So like 60 health right now, so...
Ohio might go to do that.
Maybe Ohio.
Yeah, he's realized.
He did fight Blink before he died. He did have enough money, but I think he was just kind of like in panic mode when he saw the AI splash fly out, but it's not going to delay him too much.
Ohio isn't even it. Maybe he'll take it out as soon as he spots presence from Liquid. Matumabam flying up now. Does have the back of Kuroki as well, and Stormhammer into Ice Blast, as we've seen, can do wonders against the Sand King at this stage. But as you said, that hurdle's now been climbed. He's got the blink at the same time. What a Mind Control with a perfect blink reveal to get himself a brief kill on his own. A solo kill down on the bottom lane. And it looks like he'll actually be able to get himself the tower as well down here. And top lane, it was never denied. So Matumabam still ends up claiming the gold. And Liquid just picking up gold across the map.
They're getting a lot of momentum right now. They're getting key items. There's a lot of ultimates coming out. Like we saw the Ice Splash showcased by Kuro and the top dive, maybe a bit aggressive. So Ohio looking to show his own blink off here.
Radiant's
Right.
middle tower is
With
under
the smoke,
attack.
but Liquid are actually going to get the wraparound from behind them here. Fada is going to be the one to front this. Can they bring down the Razor? Relatively tanky chances there. Does have false promise if necessary. The Tombstone will drop my pick on the side of that Fada, but there's the false promise coming out. The mid-one ice blast for Kroki. Takes down the quad. They'll pick off the Undying as well on the side. A good from Mushi holds back Liquid, but they'll be able to continue to check. So Lava that comes in from Ohio. He's going to bring it forward, but he can't quite finish it. Mind control gets the goal to Ohio. Ohio goes down. Fnatic losing 4, finding nothing in return, and it may not be over yet. But Timberland takes DJ as well. Team wiping Fnatic. And this seems to be the Liquid that people were expecting to see appear in Game 1. Game 2, it's going absolutely disastrously for Fnatic. A team drafting this Drow lineup, a lineup that did require to do well in this early beginnings of the match, but it's just all gone to pot, and Liquid looking absolutely on form. It's the classic, it's the Liquid we saw yesterday. They drop a game and then they come back and they smack you so goddamn hard in the second game. 10k lead, 13 minutes in. Fnatic, they need to come up with something big.
In the first game, and in this game as well, laning phase was super important. I think for both these teams, their game plans are very indicative of how the lanes go. This time around, Liquid just had really strong lanes. Good aggro try, their middle lane matchup, Fata obviously won, not by a huge margin, but he did win by a bit. And then bottom lane, mind control crushed, top lane crushed. They killed the entire tri lane in the first actual engagement that kicked off. So it's pretty much been all Liquid's momentum throughout the entire 14 minutes of this game so far, and they're not looking to stop now. He will be able to keep you away from this. But for the time being, Fnatic really need to focus on not getting overly greedy. Like, it's easy to fall into a game where you're losing and just say, okay, we need to get a kill. Because Ohio just goes all in on Fata, and DJ does pretty much the same thing, and then ends up like throwing out a ward trap on the tankiest hero on the side of Liquid. And I'm sure it was just a bit of a panic maneuver, but it's not really gonna help. And they haven't really, like, at this point, they haven't killed a tower.
Radiant structures
their
are
Drow
fortified.
lineup at 15 minutes almost.
The lineup with this Drow and Quap core is not necessarily one you want to be running when you are falling behind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Especially if they lose another fight. I mean, they're coming to make the end from the back of this smoke. Broky's going to stop. What the heck? Ohio whipping that one. Tries to play with this line. The Sancting is out. And Liquid now ready to come in and clean up more. A Sonic Wave. It will catch Mind Control, bringing him low, but it's not going to bring him down. Just falls for Mind Control, getting back in. The Queen of Pain. 3 down on Fnatic. And the way that started, I mean, Ohio, we saw in Game 1, his initiations were absolutely perfect. But just whiffing it there on the Sand King and Liquid, they're a team that you cannot afford to mess up against.
Man, that was just brutal. If they get that stun, you know, perhaps they get a quick kill. They have Queen of Pain to follow it up. A good, like, blink follow-up is all you need to just get that one quick kill, and then perhaps, you know, they can just go for the bottom tier 1 with the massive rewards or kill it, and maybe even pressure the tier 2. That would have been such a nice engagement if Fnatic could have just gotten one clean kill out of it, but unfortunately, those types of plays, when you're already behind, they can just be absolutely crippling.
Liquid, at this stage, I mean, the amount of money that their cores have on them. You can get so much done, and obviously with this build of Fada picking up the early hood, makes it very hard for Fnatic's lineup to bring him down.
Radiant's
Mind
bottom
control as well,
tower
so
is
he's
under
able to
attack.
push out lanes, get himself involved in the action when needed. Liquid feeling very confident coming out. Mind control hitting a 2-man. Oh, the ice blast goes out.
Dominating.
DJ's gonna take down Ohio. May just be lucky enough to get himself away. Kroki will be
Dire's
taken down in
middle
response.
tower is under
Mind
attack.
control comes back in again. Fada coming across to join the fight. They'll look to TP away. 3-for-3. He's just about makes it. Mind control's got his eyes set on the bigger kill. On that drop, and he's going to get it. We see the call into the Purifying Flames followed through from a dunk. So much nuke damage at this stage of the game, so much catch potential from Liquid, and they're playing it perfectly.
They're just rolling right now, just firing on all cylinders. Their net worth advantage of their cores is just insane. Like, every single lane they had, it feels very reminiscent of when, you know, the newbie versus Liquid series was on the other day, and it's just the lane phase is so dominant that Liquid just never really lost control. And Fnatic, they do have an okay amount of deep push, you know, Queen, Sang King, stuff like that. But stopping them right now.
I know, he will catch the burst that comes to Fada with the epi, but we can see with the hood. Fada, he does not give a hood. He Liquid now with the tools at their disposal. You know, but Timmerman's got a blink, helm, armlet, treads. 18 minutes in, they're so far ahead. What is the plan for Fnatic now?
They dropped every single thing they had in that fight. Everything. And they managed to walk away with 1 kill. I mean, the Fate's Edict and the Hood combination, like you saw it there. It didn't matter if he popped the Epi or not. There was no way they were potentially killing Fata, but they're just getting so desperate because they realize that the state of the game is just not going in their favor. I'm not really sure at this point what you do if you're Fnatic, because you need to drop everything on one hero to get a kill. Your Drow is very far behind, your Queen's far behind, and that hero itself, like Queen of Pain, is notorious for being very difficult to play when you're not just miles ahead.
Oh!
Okay, nice fling.
Alright.
That was very solid.
Oh, that was nice.
Where was that Ohio when they were in the jungle earlier? That would have been a completely different team play.
Yeah, they're going to need a fair few more cute plays like that. Fnatic, if they want to bring this one back in. 22-6, 19 minutes in. This is looking like the Liquid that we have seen come through in some of these series. Just this absolutely top tier, world-class performance that puts other teams to just looking like shambles. And Fnatic at this point, as we see, they just can't seem to bring themselves together to tackle this. Mushi is in trouble. Mind Control jumps in, gets the call off. A few spins will certainly help do this. Mushi trying to back up. There's going to be a death there. Mushi's gone. They didn't even need the Ice Blast to connect. And at this point, Liquid putting pressure on tier 2 mid. It's not looking great, Andy. This has got to be like one of the biggest leads in 20 minutes that we've seen so far. This is insane, like how much of an advantage they have. It's closing in on the close to 1,000 a minute.
The thing is, you know, we're talking a lot about how well Liquid are doing, but if you think about it, Fnatic are still like almost getting kills in having situations where maybe if they had just like a tiny bit more, they would be able to turn an engagement, and that's just, again, owed to their draft. If their lanes just didn't get absolutely
middle tower
I think that they probably would have ran away with this game quite easily, but Liquid with the aggro try.
We're 20 minutes in, and there's an Axe with Blink, Bots, and Vanguard walking around with 3.5k gold in the bank.
He's got some money. There's no question. But that's just what I'm saying, is like the team-fight composition of Fnatic is terrifying. But the problem is they just got so far behind so fast that even with their just sheer amount of like teamfight potential, they can't turn it just on that alone. Like Liquid need to overextend or maybe try to go high ground too early before they're able to really give it a engagement. Oh god, 3-4-3.
Easy dead.
Yep.
And the two turns, more money in the bank for Liquid. Easy turn to drop for Fada. And Mushi.
Radiant structures.
This game, it might nearly be over, Andy. And we may be seeing a game for it. Because this is not the dream for Fnatic. This is absolutely uncensored brutality.
It really, really is. And I don't even know if they can, like, sure they have Epicenter right now, but they don't have their Undying. Okay, they're just by back. They do both try to field some sort of defense for
middle
this.
Tower has fallen.
But you can see, like, even Matuma-man's not even buying a BKB. He just doesn't care. They have the Fate's Edict if they need it. Like, because of the fact that Fnatic have to go so all in on one hero, it makes it very easy for Jerax to just sit in the back with his Ether Lens and just throw out the ability onto one hero, and with that, you just negate almost all of the damage out there. And if that's not enough, I'm not sure if Fata's actually finishing the pipe right now. It's like, okay, it's SMY. So he's not going to finish the pipe, but he probably doesn't even need to, because the only hero that needs to hit the tower really is Matuma-man when he has God Strength on. And you know, after the AC, if he still feels like he needs Magic Immunity, then obviously he can go back for it.
I guess as well, if Liquid want to, they could certainly think about going for Roshan. I mean, getting an Aegis on one of these cores, then go for the push again. Using Mind Control, closing in on completing a heart this early on. Kuroki maybe want to get caught out here. Has to come out alone, and Fnatic, they'll jump in. And we'll be able to find a pick here onto Kuro. I mean, well, I say that. If they don't kill that AA there, I mean, I don't know anymore. But they do get him. They do get it.
I mean, how are you supposed to run away when he doesn't even have legs? Come on. But it was a nice call from Fnatic. They see that Liquid are backing, and then they say, okay, they're obviously going to split up to try to effectively farm lanes for a little bit. Let's just go ahead and try to get something done. And even a support kill at this point, you know, it's not nothing. And Fnatic need every single thing that they can possibly get to make their way back in.
Yeah, they'll tell you what they can get. And a higher. Maybe setting up something here. Moving that percentage, jumps in. Under mind control. Goes down as well. Shatters the DJ, but DJ immediately having to let go. As Liquid, therefore, for mind control. Looking to take it down though. From the tunnel man. Trumps with DJ. Fire falling over the false promise for Jax, keeping him alive. But this is looking to be a fantastic fight for Fnatic. The turnaround is there. And Fnatic fighting in a situation where they were pretty much 20,000 net worth behind.
This is Roshan as well.
What an insane fight to have when
Liquid
you're
gonna
this
buy back
far
to this?
Oh my goodness.
They're gonna see him here. He's gonna blast his hit. Is that enough to stop Fnatic from doing it though?
They're back in.
They have a draw, so it's very easy to kite the Roshan. You don't actually need like lifesteal or anything for this. That ward, by the way, was what gave them that perfect fight, because Ohio saw them coming around, and he gets the epicenter off, and they just drop everything onto mind control to make sure they take down the axe. And once he's gone, there's just not that much control, so they're able to actually effectively kite the other core, which is Man. Obviously being melee against Drow, it's not really the greatest of times. That was very well executed. A move that has bought them some time in this game for sure.
It's certainly going to be a mighty swing on that network graph indeed, as Fnatic,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
against all odds, just finding the perfect chance for a team fight. I mean, as you said, the ward was causing issues there for Liquid. I mean, how else did that go so wrong for Liquid?
Well, obviously it was disjointed. They didn't get in all at once, so instead of, mind control getting a jump on someone, he gets initiated on by the Sand King, which means that there's no blink call into any sort of follow-up for the Sven, because a lot of times when you see a Sven lineup, it's usually going to be blink into stun, and to bring that hero to the Sven somehow, usually by like Batrider and stuff like that is what we normally see. But that didn't happen. Man came to the fight in later, and even if he has the blink dagger, he's not really able to hit anybody unless he has a Stormhammer up, and Mind Control just died, because they dropped everything on him. So once he's down, there's no control for that, and then Jerax comes in afterwards, False Promise Fata, and at that point it's kind of already a lost cause.
Fnatic, again, they're coming over into Liquid's jungle, Liquid themselves smoking.
But they see that Fata's top, he does not have food to travel, but he does have a
Mind Control is on his own. Fnatic, they've got a great chance of putting him in the jumping in. The damage is too much. Fnatic is finding his liquid at the same time. Mushi was caught up alone. So Liquid do find a 1v1.
Yeah, but look at how much more valuable the kill is for Fnatic. It's not even close. Just because of the sheer net worth difference, like killing the axe is going to be worth it every single day of the week, even if you do lose your draw.
Liquid have to certainly be careful about giving away these kills. As you said, with the lead that Liquid did have, it's very costly for them to lose these cores now at this stage of the game.
Dire's top tower is under
As
attack.
Fnatic trying to pull together the comeback. It was definitely not to be expected after how the first 20 minutes or so of this game had gone, and how far they could have got ahead. I mean, by no means have Fnatic totally closed the gap. Liquid are still comfortably in the lead. Man very stacked for this stage of the game with a full Assault Cuirass. But a few more fights like that, and we may see Fnatic really throw a spanner into the momentum that Liquid have managed to build up in this first stage of the game.
I mean, even one fight like that, if it's a big fight and Fnatic managed to get like 3 or 4 kills, I'd say it's almost back to ground zero in terms of just overall net worth and whatnot. But yeah, I think BKBs need to be thought about here.
Look at this decision for 3-4-3. He's finished an Aghanims on Undying as his first item.
Yeah, it's really good. If you think about the way that Liquid take team fights, a lot of their cores want to stay really close. So you have like Axe and Sven, clearly they both need to be pretty much in melee range, and the Razor is not the longest range. And you need to stay relatively close as well for static range. So you're reliably hitting at least 2 targets, I feel, with every single decay, and it's 10 strength that's sapped, so it's a huge amount of damage. Makes the hero squishier. It's a very good item for this game.
Doing a lot of conceding to what Garrett's talking about. Zero damage. Goes through for the Sonic Wave. They've lost the Razor. They found themselves.
They got
Fnatic. Oh my goodness. They're going to be able to get the full 3-4-3. Ripping them up with this axe, stealing the strength away from Liquid and all of their hopes as well. This is incredible from Fnatic. pushed against the wall with a draft that questions would have been asked if they would have had it in them to take Liquid in these fights, but winning team fights that heavily. This is just straight outplay from Fnatic, and it's incredibly impressive to watch.
DJ and Mushi played that fight unbelievably well. There's so many fights in a row where DJ gets a ward trap on one of the melee cores. This time it was the MidOne. He's got to be sitting in the booth thinking to himself, why did I not buy a BKB this game? Every single fight, he's either completely disabled or he's surrounded by wards. It's just, there's nothing he can do because he decided to go for the greedy build. You know, he finishes the Assault Cuirass first. He doesn't go for the magic immunity play to ensure that he can actually hit targets during the fight. And that has hurt them so badly in this game. And then, of course, Mushi hit, I think it was a 3-man Sonic Wave, 4-man Sonic Wave. And Matuma Man had the obvious promise during that. Sorry, yeah, MidOne.
I was going to say, Drow and Sonic Wave, that would be.
I'm just so used to seeing Mushi play Queen of Pain that my brain goes back to that, because in the past he was pretty much always playing that hero. So yeah, you're right, it is definitely MidOne. But yeah, the Sonic Wave was on point, and then Matuma Man just exploded, and so did Kuro, and the fight after that was just unwinnable.
I mean, how do you, with the fights going this badly for Liquid, and especially considering the position you're in, do you just say, all right, buddy, you got 2.7k gold, we're not going to fight until you picked up your next item, and Matuma Man, get yourself a BKB, then we'll go again?
Yeah, he needs magic immunity for sure. I mean, before, when they were going for like that siege and they were sitting at like 15+k net worth and experience ahead, it's okay to not have the BKB because you're really only scared of the damage. But Fnatic just did such a good job at taking fights like a ward in the jungle, taking one successful engagement, abusing the fact that Sven doesn't have magic immunity now and being able to burst him. I think it's just maybe the itemization on the Sven is definitely an issue. But Fnatic just outplaying in teamfights. Like DJ is some kind of Shadow Shaman god at this point. I can't believe he so consistently gets ward trapped. That's the thing
every time he's ulted, he's got him.
Yeah, that's the thing that's ridiculous. Like, he gets it every single time. This guy is just a beast.
I mean, as we can see on the graph as well, Liquid, they did manage to get up to a 20k lead, but it's pretty much all but gone.
Liquid have got to be feeling the pressure right now. Like they.
And what a position! Obviously, on the curb of being knocked out of the tournament, the pressure is on for Liquid. Now the Fnatic are the ones to regain this edge and have this lead. As Fnatic certainly looking to drive this on and 2-0ing Liquid. We've already had a lot of very impressive performances with some great stories coming out of the tournament. But if Fnatic are able to pull this off, that's going to be just another insane storyline to add into the mix here at TI.
Could be seeing a huge engagement here. 5-man smoke coming in from Liquid.
Let's see if Liquid can pull it off this time. The last few times, it's not gone great. Fnatic in a good position and hiding in the tree line. We'll see who's the first to reveal. Wall gets dropped down. They'll spot the move.
DJ.
They can get a jump on the Shadow. The Shadow. My God, fantastic! This is absolutely insane!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
At a level that I feel like we've
Radiant's
never seen
bottom
Fnatic
tower
play
has
before.
fallen.
They've always been that strong team at a certain level.
Man,
Here at TI, they're stepping it up another notch.
This is such a misplay from Liquid, just going for the Undying. That sets up a perfect epicenter and Sonic Wave for Fnatic. They were so out of position, all stacked up on one hero. I mean, it's an Undying. It doesn't even really matter if you kill him that much. And the damage comes out so fast between MidOne and the Sand King. They force a buyback. And
I mean,
Jesus, this has got to feel just awful for Liquid.
And for a team and players that have been around for a long time, and maybe they've never really had the platform where they're able to push it right to the top. They've always been around that kind of 5th, 6th position consistently. But here at TI, where it counts the most, they're stepping it up, they're looking to break forward. And if indeed they can do it here and get the 2-0, I have a feeling that Fnatic, they're going to be winning a lot of fans over with these performances.
They're definitely a very entertaining team to watch. Even in positions where they're behind, they're always looking to make a play. They always have an idea of what they need to do to come back in the game. And that's the kind of stuff that you need if you want to win TI.
Matuma Man just working on that third and final piece for the BKB. But of course, at the same time, there's a lot of big items being worked on by Fnatic. as this game has entirely turned on its head. The net worth, the XP lead, all favoring Fnatic, of course, off the back of pretty much, we've had 3 big fights that have resulted in almost, well, I think there were team wipes each and every time against Liquid. And you just cannot afford to fight like that, especially in a position where it counts for so much. And Fnatic, you can see how hungry they are for this victory.
There is something that we need to keep in mind, is that BKBs are coming out on the side of Liquid now. So with those items, there is still an opportunity for Liquid to, you know, we could say make a comeback, but let's just say regain their advantage and their footing. Like Matumba Man almost has his, once he has it, it could be a potential, did they even have smoke at this point? I didn't actually, I don't know if they have a smoke or not, but if they do, once the BKBs are done in their 10 seconds, yeah, okay, they have one on Kuro. And if they smoke with that and manage to find a couple of picks, they can reestablish map control. That would be very important for them at this point, because it's not even as if, you know, they're that far behind in terms of farm. It's just the last couple of fights have been very, very disappointing.
Mostly talking about Liquid looking for a smoke, but
this
Fnatic
timing
themselves, are they gonna smoke and go rush? Yeah. Lucy, good in, working at it. Liquid themselves, I mean, the majority of them already backed up at the base. Even if they know that's going on, they can't close this gap in time. They're going to be taking it quickly. Fnatic, Roshan down to half, getting themselves Aegis as well for the next engagement. It's going to make it even harder. As you said, the big step up for Liquid is the fact that some of these BKBs have now come online. But is it going to be enough? Aegis now for MidOne. Fnatic with more tools at the ready for the next fight.
Liquid have 10-second BKBs on their cores, or maybe it's 9 for Fata. Yeah, he did use it once in the bottom fight, so it's 2 10s and a 9. That is a huge difference. It's going to make it a lot harder for Ohio to have impact in the fight with his epicenter. Clearly the Sonic Wave will still do some damage, but being able to get that sheer burst factor that we saw in the bottom jungle fight is not nearly as likely as it is now, and Fnatic are going to have to play a much more fight-oriented team fight if they want to try to fight Liquid in the open. Even with an Aegis, I still think it's very, very dangerous, because if Matumba Man's able to stick to a target with that newfound magic immunity, it can very easily be a hard fight for Fnatic.
Fnatic getting the courage up to take another tier 2. They have the Aegis, they have the ability to do so. Liquid, let's see how they can get a bite back on them, of course. Initiation-wise, pretty much relying on mind control to get a blink call off. Already Ohio. Little TP up top, keep that lane pressured in as well. Fnatic knowing that they themselves aren't too much pressure to do anything rash. They've regained a very comfortable lead against, you know, as I said, all of the fact that Liquid was so far ahead off the back of the laning stage. Fnatic definitely much more comfortable in the ways that they can choose to take this game now. As Liquid, they really will be feeling the pressure here. I mean, Liquid themselves, are they waiting for Fnatic to come at them? Do Liquid need to wait until the Aegis is timed out, or can they try and actively make a go now with their BKBs?
I think with the BKBs, they could probably still fight even against Aegis, but it just really depends on how they're feeling about it. I mean, you just lost the last couple of engagements really hard, so clearly you're going to be feeling a little bit under the gun, and understandably so. They spotted Ohio, I think, on the high ground there.
This pings out. I mean, Ohio will have the team around him. Fnatic around the top half of the river. And Liquid, I think, spotting or not, they're backing up. They don't want to be jumped upon like that. Talking about Ohio still racking up the gold. 3.2k on top of his build. Just the fact that we are seeing the 3 cores of them and all fighter. Does have BKB. He's not going to need to use it as a false promise for Jarex. Allows him to back up. Again, as we're seeing, just Liquid having to just be really quick with these snapback reactions to Fnatic jumping on them.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It was good that Fnatic didn't commit to that kill, though. That was a very bad engagement if they go all in. Because the Axe is standing behind, they have the Sven standing behind, they both have BKBs. Like, Mind Control sold his Reaver to buy a BKB. Like, that's how much they need magic immunity this game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's still feeling a little bit stressful here for Liquid. They have good high ground defense. They have heroes that can jump in, get very fast kills.
And that's exactly what they're going to try to do now.
Radiant
control jumps in. Take him out. It's the biggest stuff to fight. No chance of going down. 6 in yeah, that turns the tide for Liquid. Looking to take that into the first now. So 3 for 3. They'll find themselves a second. They've lost Kuroki. Mushi tried to pummel into mind control, but he himself decided he's got to run away. See on the sidelines, if MidOne wants to play around as well, turning back towards Mushi as well. Thinking about coming back in, but he's got to get himself away from MidOne. MidOne can't quite get the stun out. Falls Burrows onto him, but a high with the Burrow strike keeps the Sven held back. As Fnatic just desperately trying to get themselves out of this engagement. As Liquid this time are able to buy in with the use of the BKBs, taking 2 kills, only losing 1. But it's certainly not the massive team fight win that they would want with those BKBs, and it does certainly feel like Fnatic were able to minimize the casualties there.
That was a very good disengage there from Fnatic. Mushi didn't overcommit, kept himself safe. Liquid really want kills here.
They've got to be careful. I mean, BKBs, of course, on cooldown. Mushi, hang around with them here.
He's got Blink and Block.
Mushi with the Shadow Ray, but they have got the vision. They'll catch out Mushi. And Liquid, with that kill, would certainly feel a little bit better about that past engagement, taking down a very high-value target from Fnatic. But this game is certainly on. 39 minutes in, Liquid had the lead, lost the lead, but now showing signs of being able to reclaim it from Fnatic.
It's a very back and forth game. The power spikes are pretty much just based around BKB timings and whatnot, especially against a team like Fnatic who are so heavily based around being able to get stuff off, like, you know, Epicenter, a lot of Queen of Pain's damage is magic, Undying, Shadow Shaman. They're all very spell-based heroes, so once those get lower duration and you're down to 5 seconds, then it becomes a fight where Fnatic might be able to kite it out long enough to be able to start using their spells again. And this Queen of Pain is
I mean, the AC pickup's brilliant, isn't it? Helps negate that of MidOne's and allows Fnatic as well, if they win a fight, to have a bit better of a chance of being able to break high ground, because other than the Shaman wards and the Drow, they don't necessarily have the best ways of frontlining a tower high ground siege.
That's a very good choice. I would expect him to maybe either go for Hex or Refresher next. I think having double BKB is really good because you can just sit in the fight for a longer period of time, and double Sonic Wave when you already have Aghanim's is so powerful even against the tankier heroes. Yeah, Fnatic's still in a pretty good position. Obviously they weren't able to maybe use the Aegis as well as they had wanted to, and Liquid are feeling confident about the match because of that. But still any team's game at this point.
It certainly seems, though, at this stage as well, just kind of reviewing the good fights that Fnatic had. A lot of this is on Ohio to kind of counter, you know, Liquid's initiation. For him to hit these multi-heroes, Burrow strikes, get the epicenter off, which pretty much was the case in the fights that Fnatic have come on top of. So, like in Game 1, Fnatic are going to have to rely on Ohio to hit these huge, high-impact plays to slow down Liquid's aggression when they themselves mind control, looks to front a jump.
Yeah, the Sand King's play is crucial indeed, but he kind of needs to like go in and burrow and then not use Epicenter until the BKBs are down. So he needs to be able to get in and out, use his stuns defensively for peels for the other heroes so they don't actually die during BKB, or if they can, you know, he gets like a stun first, maybe they can burst the hero before the BKBs pop. That would be the ideal situation. It's not easy though, because they would need DJ to follow that up after the initial burrow, and that's only the situation where you're going for a pick. In a full-fledged team fight, you would never be able to initiate that way because BKB from one hero gets popped, you get initiated on by the Sven of the Axe, and then you kind of just get ran over. So it's tough. It's very tough right now to fight straight up as Fnatic.
And we saw in the last fight, of course, as well towards the mid-tier 2 as Liquid. One of the edges was the fact that they were able to get DJ first. You know, making sure those wards aren't planted down, someone's not getting trapped. It's a great way for Liquid to be able to start the fight. So Fnatic, of course, next time will certainly try their best to avoid that awkward positioning and being caught off guard, and make sure that DJ can drop his spells down.
They did kind of catch him off guard because obviously they went for the smoke first. It's something that it could have went a heck of a lot worse for Fnatic, like if they were grouped up more and there was like a multiple man call or, you know, something like that. It could have been a total disaster, but in reality, given the situation and those items just being purchased, Liquid probably wanted more than what they got out of that engagement. And getting the Mushi kill after was just Mushi being around a little bit too long instead of just like straight up running away.
Well, again, at this point of the game where both teams seem to have slowed down the pressure a little bit. Ohio is on his way around.
Oh, they're split right now.
In, yeah, catches Spotter out the backside, but Jax is there to back up the Razor. And Fnatic again choosing not to follow through and do disengage.
Man, Liquid reacted to that so fast. They had 2 heroes bottom, they instantly get to mid, top lane TPs. They recognize that Fnatic have the potential of getting quick pickoffs. Both teams at this point seemingly just looking to try to get a bit more farm, maybe wait out the next Rosh.
I mean, when it does come to Roshan as well, it's going to be quite the spectacle as both teams, they've got great ways of fighting into each other around an enclosed area.
I think the AA blast is probably the best utility that Liquid have around the pit, and it's still very powerful, but I mean, this is a mech AA. It's not a Midas into Aghanims AA, so that's why normally at this stage in the game you would see maybe Kuro having even double the net worth, right? Because Midas gaming, and you play a more greedy role, but he was in a tri-lane, which means that he wasn't getting like any pulls and stuff like that. He's been more or less the sacrificial role for the team besides Jerax, who still has roughly the same, like 900 gold difference, not really too big. But yeah, normally the AA would like to have much more impact than he's having in the game right now.
Radiant structures are
Liquid reacting
fortified.
immediately, fortification, but some of that jumping in. Onto me, but a post gun from a higher in return. Ice Blow, it's going to come through, it won't falling over, but he did manage to blink out. Higher is going to be the focus. They'll burst out, but DJ again with the war trap on Savannah. Doesn't matter this time, as Liquid will find themselves the second. So Liquid able to react and take down two from Fnatic. And it really has been the case of as soon as those BKBs came online for Liquid, they're in a much better position to take these fights. And Fnatic just unable to bring them down once they're under the cover of the match community.
I think it's mainly, that one was just on MidOne being a little bit too far forward and forcing his support and offlaner to commit themselves to just saving his life. Because if DJ didn't go in there and force staff him, I'm pretty sure he would have probably died there. And because of that, you know, DJ obviously doesn't have his force staff to escape himself after he forces out the queen. So then he dies, they lose a gem. I think it actually would have been better for MidOne to just die instead of both of them dying and losing a gem. But sometimes you want to save your core. And this does open up the opportunity for Roshan. There's no buyback on DJ, and Ohio doesn't want to expend the money for a 30-second respawn timer, so this is a really big power timing for Liquid here.
No way that Fnatic can put a stop to this one.
Roshan has
the Aegis in the
fallen
hands
to
of
the
Fnatic
Radiant.
and the BKBs, it's... I mean, there is potential, I imagine, for Liquid themselves to try and go for a high ground siege against Fnatic with these tools. And Cheese as well, of course, on mind control. I mean, he's going to be perfect for getting himself in on the front lines and just tanking up a huge amount of the burst that Fnatic are going to be throwing out.
It's actually very impressive that Liquid managed to compose themselves and, you know, get to a point where they can sit back, get their BKBs after those two just devastating team fights coming out from the side of Fnatic. And Fnatic are now the ones who, again, have to buy time. They need to wait until those BKBs are down to 5 seconds. They need to wait until the Aegis and the Cheese are consumed. Just try to defend your high ground. When Liquid back, split up the map as much as you can. Look for pickoffs. And hope, just hope that Sven doesn't get a lucky crit. Because if he does,
It's dangerous.
it's going to be scary.
Illusion!
But Summerman, amongst all the chaos, has certainly kept his game strong. Pretty much consistently been at the top of the network. And with his performance so far, 8 kills. He's had 3 times and 13 assists. Let's see what he can get done here as Liquid indeed looking to get in position to put some pressure on Fnatic. And maybe even test out Fnatic's defenses and see what they can achieve with the high ground push. There's going to be a high picking up the Shiva's guard, so more tools for Fnatic to be able to hold the defensive. But as we can see, Liquid can certainly hit very, very hard now at this stage of the game. Especially if they hit a good Ice Blast, if Mind Control could get a couple of heroes in his court. And see what Fnatic do against it. Liquid poised outside the base. And looking ready to make a move.
A very tense situation here for Fnatic. They do not have buyback on DJ or 343, but everyone else should. Ohio's only like 10 gold away, so 1 creep and he's pretty much got it. But they need to react to this a little bit faster.
Away right into the base. First to get away in the racks. Bursted immediately. The wards around. The BKBs for Liquid are bombed. The back up goes a buyback for Hiro comes out. Can Fnatic punish this play? Reaver Mind Control, but Jared's with a false promise, keeping the axe safe. And MidOne jumping forward. Can't get the latch on the Batuma as he blinks. Now, Liquid on the high ground. They may even want to go back in Liquid, right? Eyeing it up. Fnatic trying to play around, looking to the side. They've actually caught Matuma alone. There's a big pick to find the sped. Now to the Matuma going, the Sonic Wave going through. Now the Steam is a higher over the epicenter. Takes down Alcatraz, fires the bullet with a forward shot. Looking for Kuroki and Fnatic.
Sound.
They may have fallen short of the last couple of fights, but again, we're seeing the Fnatic mid-game team fight power that they were showing us earlier. It's back again. And Fada, he's going to be one to fall as well by the looks of it. Ohio and Mushi chase down the Razor. And again, Liquid managed to stay up alive the game a little bit with the BKB purchases, but as we saw there, Fnatic, they can draw out the fight, they can fight around those timings, come back in hard, and they're just executing it perfectly as a team. And with this push down the mid, we'll see how many buybacks that Liquid's forced to use, but Timberman's still down for 40 seconds. Jax himself not going to be able to get back in the game.
God, that was such a nice gust from Mushi there. Hitting those 3 targets, making sure that, you know, the BKB was down to mind control, so there's no way he can ever use any, like, crowd control abilities, no taunt, nothing like that. And that Sonic Wave follow-up was just perfect. The best thing about that fight, though, personally, for me, was DJ being able to isolate Matuma Man, realizing, hey, he doesn't have Aegis, he doesn't have Cheese, you know, it doesn't have BKB anymore, you guys need to come around here and kill him straight up. And because they picked off that hero, and the trade for that 1-for-1 was an Undying, I would want a Sven on my team with that kind of net worth over an Undying at the stage of the game. And then at that point, it's just way too hard to come back from. And that was 2 buybacks there, because the Act bought back as well as the Razor, so.
And Mushi off the back of that fight, I mean, we already saw he was doing enough damage to take down the cores. He's just picked up a straight butterfly. He had about 6k gold to spend after that fight. He's just about got enough to have buyback as well, so it should be available by the time the next fight kicks off. Bloodthorn going to be picked up as well.
That's a huge purchase, especially considering the fact that Mushi himself just got a damage item. If they're hitting the same target and there's a Bloodthorn on that hero and BKB's down, you are going to just get melted.
Liquid. We did see before how they lost 3 very, very heavy team fights. They were able to compose themselves and come back in, but that was, of course, with these fresh BKBs and these BKB timings dwindling a little bit now. 7 seconds, 6 seconds.
I'll take that.
Fnatic have played this exactly how they wanted to, just making sure that when Liquid had these longer timings, they weren't able to find as convincing of a team fight that the Liquid would have hoped for. And Fnatic really showing us how much they deserve this spot and that they can bring down a team like Liquid that before this TI was certainly pitted to be one of the top contenders. And I mean, even off the back of the games that they played as well, here on the main stage, Liquid, they've looked on form. But today, Fnatic seeming a step ahead. Liquid, of course, they still do have a chance here, but they really can't afford to go down on this slippery road again that they were on in the mid-game here.
Well, when you have a Sven on your team with a Daedalus and a BKB, there's always a chance for a turnaround. That's just how the hero works by nature. He's incredibly good at staying high levels of farm. I mean, you can see it reflected in the net worth. He's just behind the Queen of Pain. And if they, like, it's one or 2 fights can just completely decide the fate of the game. Like, 1 set of racks at this point doesn't really matter that much, just because of how much ability that Liquid have to clear out the wave, and the same thing can be said for Fnatic as well. It's going to be down to buybacks and who gets the better fights.
Fnatic smoking up, maybe looking for that hard-hitting finishing blow. I mean, they're just going to ping on the top racks. They've got the
this is a really good play, actually.
And we've seen how quickly Fnatic can take down structures.
There is a glyph, though.
DJ, ward down, ready to get the push on Liquid at the moment. They're all out towards the Roshan pit. I mean, I do hope they're saying they've got TP scrolls.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
They can get back.
Radiant's
doesn't actually have
are fortified.
Going to need to. And usually, yeah, fortification forced out. The wards, as we can see, doing a fair bit to the melee racks. But next time, I mean, Liquid have got to be careful because Fnatic will be able to go for that play. And without a fortification, you're losing a second set of racks just like that.
Well, I don't know if they're going to use another smoke for that, but they knew that Roshan wasn't going to be up for at least a couple of minutes. So it means that if they do that play, they automatically force Liquid back to base. They reestablish the map control. They don't have to worry about Liquid doing anything because the other lanes were being pushed anyway. Just a very nice little smoke play there. And if anyone had TP'd back to try to defend, they would have just gotten murdered instantly, so.
Liquid. Be careful around this ward from Fnatic, spotting them all out here. see what kind of a jump they get. MidOne jumps in immediately. Reacts to the charge. He moves away. MidOne goes back in. Now, shooting it down. Immediately from the ball. He's still alive. Liquid just trying to get themselves the hell out of there. Popping the BKBs and running. They know there's going to be a quad boxing in a higher. MP! Falling down.
Mind control doesn't have buyback.
Radiant's top barracks
Up to the top ranks. MidOne
Radiant's top
cleans
barracks
up
has
mind
fallen.
control. They have lost Ohio, but they've got 4.
They got the melee racks as well. There's no buyback on mind control. 100 seconds dead. The only person who's dead on Fnatic is the Sand King.
And of course, Fnatic, they've got all the pushing power that they need alive. Mushi standing strong, ready to go in on the top limit. Timmerman picks up the refresher. Maybe going to look for a final hurrah. He's down 2 teammates.
Radiant's top barracks
He's
has
going
fallen.
to need that miraculous play.
This could catch them by surprise. I think he wants to wait out his BKB at least in the God Strength. If he can get 2 ultimates and 2 BKBs, there is a chance they can defend this even outnumbered. It's only 10 more seconds on the God Strength, and then he'll be able to double ulti, double BKB. That could be enough.
60 seconds without and control for the defense. Timmerman coming in, BKB gets the solo 2 DJ with the goal seconds, looking to focus 3 more free for the down. Sonic wave to the face. 2 minutes without the Timmerman. Varda's trying to do it for the side, but Mushi DJ Jangles Varda on the false promises that BKB's come out. Liquid maybe looking for a last ditch defense. 3-4-3 falls back from the ranks and falling. Mushi's going to get the objective by the flyer. They've done it! They've absolutely done it! Fnatic 2-0
Radiant's
Liquid!
middle tower is under
Liquid
attack.
are going
Radiant's
home
middle
in the
tower has
spectacular
fallen.
Fnatic with one of the best performances I feel we've ever seen from them.
You know, I really wish that Winter was on the analyst panel right now, because the only thing I would ask him is, how do you feel how easy Fnatic's bracket was now? This 2-0ing Team Liquid.
An absolute roller coaster, back and forth, and I can imagine for the players just a roller coaster of emotions. But at the end of the day, Fnatic just held their composure better.